allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Keating,
Here.
Snelling,
Present.
Reinhardt,
Present.
Schrader,
Present.
Throm,
Here.
Warren,
Here.
Feinkman,
Present.
Harris.
Present.
Okay, approval of minutes, regular meeting, May 25th, 2026.
Move to approve minutes, regular meeting, May 25th, 2026 is written.
Can you amend that to put that Tyler was here?
Second paragraph. Change is so noted.
Move with correction.
Move for the correction.
Is there another second?
Second.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, we'll now move into public comments. Comments in this portion of the meeting will be held to a maximum of 5 minutes, and scheduled requests shall be allotted 15 minutes. Prior to making comments, please state the following: your first and last name, your address, and your ward, if you know it. Some people don't. Any public comments?
Courtney, I know you guys are all excited for this. Oh my gosh, so I don't know what's going on with this leak. We're not leaking as much water as we have been. I feel pretty comfortable. We've gotten our chlorine situation. One thing I was holding off on is to be able to keep ahead with our chlorine, make sure it's safe swimming for the bathers that we could have. But the last couple days, we were able to hold water for like 36 hours. We lost 3 inches, I think, overnight. Don't know where the water is going yet. We've had teams from Omaha, Manhattan several times on the deck. We have a hole in the concrete thinking it was there. It's not there. Hopefully, the team from Omaha is coming back down tomorrow. We have the team from Manhattan on deck for Wednesday and Thursday. But I feel pretty comfortable. If we could make a decision whether we can open, I'm either putting chemicals in a pool that's not moving, or I'm going to put chemicals in a pool with people in it. So I know that we need to watch how much we're actually losing water, but I know that we've got to keep the pool moving. We've got to keep chemicals in it, or it's going to turn into a cesspool again, and I just can't have that. Or we need to make a decision on whether we can go forward with this season, or what's our plan. I have a whole team that keeps asking me. I mean, everybody is feeling it with the community as well as Audrey and I, but it's been a lot of hours, a lot of work that we're putting in on this that we just need to figure something out.
What are the chances that if we do open it and they find the leak, what are the chances we have to turn around and close it again to repair it?
The chance is great, right? Because you're putting heavy equipment, construction, depending on the size. It was nice getting the hydro excavator out there this last time, just because it could suck up the sand, takes a lot less space, but obviously it is equipment out there. You don't want people around that. But that's my holdup as well, is how long are we going to prolong this? I know Will was out probing today. I mean, anybody and everybody is trying to figure out where this water is going. We're super thankful that it slowed down as much as it has. We were losing 6 inches to a foot overnight at times. Just even draining the pool, changing out filters, these little caps in the bottom of the drains, just doing anything and everything, watching flows, watching, how the water is moving. It's just all these things that are going on that we're just are doing our due diligence to make sure we can find out where it's going. I've had Delmer. I mean, Delmer's been a saving grace as well. Just if something is not looking right, they are checking it out. Just like we realized our chlorine wasn't flowing through our pump correctly, so they got that all taken care of. Watched our backflows, our backwash today, just to make sure that we're even flowing through the pipes correctly as we should be. But we're I mean, truly at a loss of what, and, it's getting very difficult to watch a pool that's now blue, and ready to be swam in, and obviously the heater is ready to go, to warm it up a little bit more, just sit. So I know that that's the qualm of, do we open it with the, possibility of shutting it down, or, I mean, that's just something we can put out in the community that, hey, we're gonna try it for a few days, because the worst case scenario is that chlorine doesn't hold up, that we don't stay in our safe levels to chlorinate the pool. If we can't keep up with the water loss, having extra people in the pool, that'd be something that we have to keep track of, as well as how much water we're losing while people are in the water, because that's just in general that, and we just want to make sure that our fresh fill is keeping up with that also, just to be safe.
I think at this point, we just about have to open it up, as long as we can maintain, the safety side of things for the public.
Yes, and I'd be the first person
And
to
if we
close.
happen to find the leak and we gotta shut it down for
If we gotta
one day.
shut it down
that
for
should
1
be
day,
a
1
couple
week,
weeks to get
whatever it
in
is.
and out.
Yeah, I mean, at least like that, will satisfy people of, oh, this is why we are not able to get in this pool right now. Our problem with it turning into the pond that it did was that it was not circulating, and I absolutely cannot sit on another pool like that. And I mean, it's obviously no good for anybody to have to drain a pool and just put in the work that we did to clean it, and it's still not to my satisfactory of cleaning it, but it'll get us by until sort of end of season or next season. So, but either way, it's circulating.
Open, when would you like that to be?
As soon as possible. We're finishing painting up restrooms right now. That's been exciting. So we're getting some fresh looks in our restrooms. The men's restroom was started today, and I just text Rob, the painter that's doing those, if we go open this week, when can I have you back? We just have some stuff off the walls. If anything, we can divert people to the main bathroom if need be, just to keep people out of there. And it's not going to take very long to finish that up either.
Can we be open by Thursday?
I would hope so.
You said Manhattan should be here Wednesday or Thursday.
Yes. And the only thing is
Omaha
if
said
we,
tomorrow.
Yes, so it's just about if we're waiting for them or not.
Maybe Monday, then of next week, or?
Well, I would hope
Get it open.
before then, yes.
I mean, by Friday at the
Friday.
latest.
Yeah.
Friday?
I could guarantee Friday, as long as, chemicals are staying.
We can put a
So-
barricade around the hole or something if we need to.
Delmer and I talked about
Yeah.
that. We're on that, just a sheet of plywood and barricade it. I told him I would sit out there all day if I had to.
We did that a few years ago when we did that, so.
Yeah, and usually people stay
Kids will be
away.
happy just to get it open.
Yes, yes, yes.
I would definitely recommend that maybe you and the staff get together on the off chance, because I know people are probably gonna be buying pool passes and things like that if we do open. My recommendation would be just get with Josh or whoever in the staff and come up with a tentative plan. If we do have to close again and it takes a week or two to fix it, maybe we have a plan as far as reimbursements or refunds or something like that, because I know the citizens are gonna wanna.
And the only other thing is if we would hold off on pool passes and just do, our fees are already reduced. That'd be the only other thing, or if we ebb and flow the fees until we actually know that we're going to sustain opening. That would be the one workaround I would recommend, versus buying a full-blown pool pass if we don't even know that we're going to be able to finish out the season. Even at this point, I know this is probably a big deal to suggest, but even comping admission until we figure out what we're doing. Because I don't even know if I can even fully open the whole day, right? I can't even guarantee that if I have, we were seeing numbers, averaging 100 plus people a day. So then that's the data I have to figure out too, is can I sustain that? Can I keep up with the chemicals? I've worked with Brian from Manhattan Energy. We know how to add the chemicals safely while people are in the pool. So if we do need to add chlorine, we know exactly where to add it to. So swimmers aren't swimming in it. I know that that's been a reservation from several years prior to me, but we do know we have a lot more chemical chlorine that we use, so it's clear. It's not, I have been using powder, but only on the direction of how to use it correctly, and it's not going into our circ line right away. So there are things that we are putting in place to make sure that we can do and sustain. We know our safe levels, we know our numbers. We're out testing every couple hours, probably be testing a little more often, especially for fighting this. Like I said, we're gonna have to keep up with the water for the bather load as well, so just some data to kind of play with. And like I said, that's gonna be us seeing those numbers, and this is stuff we track all day, every day on how we're doing this.
Is that something we want to do? We got 2 weeks to figure this out. Do we just want to comp admission for that time frame?
I mean, it makes
Because we're not
sense.
making that, it's not like we're making money off of it.
No,
I mean,
and right now
we might be
we're
paying
losing.
for 2 people to work there all year,
Right.
barely.
I would agree with you there, Jeff. I mean, until we fully open.
And make sure we have some signage that says, hey,
Yes.
I don't know how you say it, could be closed tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'll put that
Or
communication
we might kick you out today,
Yes.
type of thing. I don't know how you
Yes.
put it the right way.
Yes, but then they're not outright, but then we can still try to enjoy what we have and then navigate what's that gonna look like. And, you know, I just feel like that there's just gonna be a lot less, you know, kickback, pushback, if we also, you know, have a little give to the community as well.
Do we need a motion for that?
What are you all looking for to
To
open?
and then the
Comp.
If they
You
find
shouldn't need a
something,
motion
get it
to
done.
open at that time, to comp, so you'll wanna decide on a time frame.
Until our next
Yeah.
meeting.
Yep.
Okay.
You wanna make the motion?
Well, I'll make the motion that we open the pool and that we comp admission until our next meeting.
So
Second.
And hope
I
that
would
we,
say until the 23rd of June, with the
Right.
meeting being the 22nd.
yeah.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
We both seconded it, but I had seconded it and then he seconded
Okay.
it, so it doesn't matter to me.
Perfect, so my game plan is if I can get Manhattan Energy here on Wednesday, the game plan would be go open on Thursday, and if he can't come until Thursday, just because they come with sonar equipment, and I just can't have people in the pool when that comes, we will make it a go for Friday for sure.
Sounds good.
Awesome, thank you
Hey,
guys,
thanks
anything
for all
else?
the
Thanks,
hard
Courtney.
work.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
Appreciate it. Hey, anyone else for public comments? Okay, seeing none. Do we, business and notices and hearings, we don't have any, right?
No notices or hearings?
Okay, we'll move on. Are we ready? Go ahead. Yeah. Move on to business and discussion items. First one is temporary sidewalk closure for Blue River Eye Care. Alex Beckman.
Good evening.
Hey, Alex.
My name is Alex Beckman, and I'm here on behalf of Blue River Eye Care. We're excited to be hosting Under the Sea Kids Vision Day on Monday, June 29th from 3 to 7 p.m. The event is going to focus on promoting early childhood vision health in a fun, family-friendly way. We have snacks, games, and prizes, and we're welcoming children ages 0 to 10 to call our office to schedule an appointment. We're also partnering with several community organizations who will be joining us, including Community Memorial Healthcare, Marysville Dental Care, Health First Pharmacy, the Health Department, and Kristen Peschel. Tonight, I'm requesting permission to use the sidewalk area in front of Blue River Eye Care during the event. Community Memorial Healthcare plans to set up a small grilling station to serve hot dogs to participating families, and the other organizations would like to set up informational tables along the sidewalk as well. Our goal with this is to create a safe, welcoming space for families while keeping all activity contained to the sidewalk area without obstructing traffic or neighboring businesses. We believe this event will be a positive contribution to the community and help connect families with valuable health resources.
I think it's an excellent idea, Alex, and I move that we approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
Okay, next up, we have a temporary street closure on Hendrick Street for the Marysville Union Pacific Depot Preservation Society.
Move to approve request.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Hato?
Next up, we have temporary street closure June 17th and July 4th, 2026 with One Marysville.
Move to approve the request.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Who would say?
Keith.
Okay.
Okay, next up is the city employee picnic request.
Move to approve the request by unanimous consent. I'm gonna test you guys.
Second.
There is no second. If there's discussion,
Okay.
then we vote. If not, we move on.
Okay, we have a motion for unanimous consent for the city employee picnic request. All those in favor, or any further discussion on that? No. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
There you go.
Okay, next up is the animal shelter discussion.
Are you going to turn? Okay, you've got it on. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be back to give you our presentation on the animal shelter building. I'd like to introduce you to Adriana Baker. Adriana is a student intern at CES for the summer, and she's a third-year graduate. Excuse me, she'll be a fourth-year student at the Kansas University School of Architecture. So I encouraged her to come and sit in the meeting tonight so she could experience what we must go through as architects to design buildings. So thank you for tonight.
Is it must or get to?
But what, pardon?
Is it must or get to?
She has a choice. But as I always learned in my political science class in second year is, this is the process that gets things done. So let's move forward. Thank you for the opportunity to make this presentation. And when Rob approached me and said, we've had this opportunity to design the animal shelter building, I must be honest with you, I kind of have a degree of reservation. And my reservation is, I'm hoping that we can use this as a cornerstone to create a proper animal shelter for the city of Marysville, because I know many of you are dog lovers. Rob's a dog lover, and I just want to make sure that as an architect, I have to deal with the health, safety, and welfare, not just of people, but also of our furry friends as well. So I told him I would take it on, but I would only take it on with the understanding that we have to come back with a more humane, if you will, approach to how we design and implement this. So from what I understand from our first meeting, we have a site near the water plant. It's adequate. It's, I think, where your current licensed kennel is located. It's adequate to meet the needs that you've put forward of your immediate needs. I received a sketch that tried to incorporate the 14 kennels that you have previously purchased, and we've gone over and looked at those and measured those with Will. So we at least have an understanding of the kennel equipment itself. We also understand that you've got kind of a preliminary budget of about $125,000. So I dove in and did my homework on what does the regulatory and planning environment say about kennels here in the state of Kansas. And what I understand is you're under the Kansas Pet Animal Act. There are certain requirements that we must meet in order to provide a humane environment for dogs and cats. And there are certain recommendations that the state makes with respects to air separation, noise, and how we treat the animals in each of the different clusters. We also need to make sure that we can temporarily house them, we can address their needs, and we also have to be able to accommodate them in a healthy and humane way. Next, please. So I did a quick analysis of the diagram. Basically, the diagram that I got from Will, it's more of a kennel facility for dogs. It doesn't really look at the cat requirements. It needs an area for food preparation. It needs an office for intakes and record storage. In my mind, it wasn't a public-facing diagram that we have for a facility, but really more of a shed for animals, if you will. I hate to be so blunt. And we didn't have any toilet or hygiene facilities for any staff or employees that would be located on site. And we need to get the local veterinarian involved because the local veterinarian has to sign off on this with the state and has to visit the center at least once every year, is what I understand. So it's important that we have to create a humane location. We have to deal with the separation of animals. Air and noise are probably the biggest issue. We have to separate for the transmission of disease, and also cats freak out at the sound of dogs, and dogs freak out when they see cats. So we need to make sure that they're adequately separated. Let's move on to the next slide. did a very quick diagram that begins to look at how we can organize the building. We need to have an intake space, we need to have an isolation room, and we need to have the kennels for the dogs. Ideally, we would want to have the same types of spaces for cats as well. We also need a small office with a desk and a computer so that when the animals come in, you can fill out their records and adequately record them, and some sort of kitchen, storage, workplace to be able to prepare meals and take care of the animals, and we need a toilet, handicap accessible toilet. Next. But I could only get 8 kennels in that space, keeping the original footprint, approximate footprint that Will came forward in his sketch. I did a quick study that looked at incorporating the remaining kennel spaces, and in order to get the 14 kennels on board, I need to add another 15 feet to the basic building shell. So that would give us a building that's 53 feet by roughly, sorry my eyesight's getting bad, 28 feet. Okay? So for this discussion tonight, time, money, and procurement, how we move forward on this, I think are some decisions that need to be made because time is of the essence. We need to be cognizant of your budget and your procurement mechanisms within the city on how we procure and build this building. Next. So I went through and did another quick sketch to try and study it with a little bit greater detail. I want to make sure that I've got enough area to make these kennel spaces work. I don't want to, design a building and be 2 inches short in the width and not be able to accommodate the kennels as you've received. I also looked at creating kind of a cat holding room and a cat room. By the way, I did contact the Veterinary Medicine College at K-State. They referred me to Prairie Paws. Prairie Paws then referred me to the director of the Manhattan Animal Shelter, and I went down and visited with him and spent the afternoon with him going through his facility. One of the things that we've been put forward in the contract that you've given the CES is that we want to build a concrete masonry block unit wall building. The Manhattan Animal Shelter is a CMU block building, and it did not expand well, and they are in the process of redesigning it and remaster planning it to make it more adequate for their needs. Let's go on to the next slide. So I went back and I said to Rob, what if we look at, from what I understand in the conversations, not being privy to all the conversations, was the CMU block building is designed in the dog areas because they're rough on space. We want to deal with corrosion. We want to deal with water. We need to deal with sound. We need the mass of the wall to be able to mask the dog's sound. The gentleman in Manhattan even said to me, even when you get dogs in kennels, their howling is even too loud for the employees themselves, that the employees need to wear earmuffs to drown out the dog's sounds. So I went out and I looked at option A, what I called option A. We build a CMU building. All the walls are CMU, it's all reinforced, it has to be insulated on the outside. But it takes time and it's expensive. So then I went out and did some homework on looking at what I would call option B, which was why don't we go out and talk and get a pre-engineered metal building shell. We can then build a 6-inch CMU liner for the dog kennel area, but the rest of the building can just be the shell with regular wood, either wood or metal studs, insulated, gypsum board, fiberglass coatings on any of the other animal spaces. And then doing even more research found that if I went in and did a platform post-framed outer shell, I could compress the construction time down to a much more manageable time frame. And in speaking with the construction gentleman at CES Group, we could probably even do a wood frame shell as fast as we could a post-frame engineered building. So those were my kind of 3 directions. Option A would be all the walls would be CMU block. They would all be reinforced. Cells would be filled. We would have to insulate it on the outside. We would look at trusses for the roof, probably a metal roof, or we could even look at composite shingles on it if it's due to budgetary concerns. And my primary concern on that is the cost. The second option would be we build an outer liner, either with wood or with the post-engineered frame. About half the interior wall surfaces would be a 6-inch CMU block. The The rest would be, as I said earlier, steel studs or wood studs, depending upon which is the fastest and easiest to procure and build. My preliminary research, and I must say it's very high level, tells me that if I go for the entire CMU approach, I'm probably a third again more expensive than if I take either option B or C. And let's go to the next slide. So I went through and I drew the building at a finer scale, trying to make sure all the spaces work. We've got all, and we met with Will and Josh on this, and they gave me their feedback on it. I think the big one was, under the current thinking of the city, that we do a, what is it, catch release, basically trap neuter release for cats. And so I had a fairly robust cat facility in this design, but I looked at taking that out and doing it differently. I drew all sections of both systems, looking at an outer liner and then the CMU block, and then I did quick area takeoffs and through my research, kind of came up with a very high rough cost estimate. And what Adriana is going to help me do over the next week is we're putting this into BIM right now, and we want to sit down with our internal team to come with a better budget for costs associated with this. Next slide. So from my conversations with Will and Josh, I think the decision was to kind of look at how could we reduce this cat area down even finer. And I've massaged the footprint of this space to a point where I had 2 very small rooms, maybe enough to house 2 to 4 cats at any given time. And you know what? I think even from that conversation, we decided we would eliminate those 2 rooms, make it 1 big room. We could put the veterinary table in there that the veterinarian has offered to give to the city to put in the facility. We could use it as a cat facility when we need it, or we can use it as an animal room to do any kind of examinations or anything that the veterinarian may need. So at least it allows us to get into this space. Next. And so I made those, oh no, let's go on to the next slide. So kind of in looking at this, we need to come up with some sort of, I think we need to work with you to understand your desires to when you would like to see this building completed. We understand that the local veterinary medicine doctor has given you kind of notice that he would not like to continue the current service that you have with him. We would like to try to get some sort of building shell built before winter so that hopefully we could be working on the shell during the winter months and get this thing open as quickly as possible and also be very cost effective. Next. So the diagram on the right would say this is a traditional method. We would need about a month to finish up our construction drawings. We need to get a mechanical engineer involved and a structural engineer. We would need to be able to put this out for bid. We would need to review the bids. We would need to mobilize. We would start building the CMU shell, eventually move into the interiors, and then we're probably talking 9 to 10 months in order to build a building. So as we brainstormed around the table with our team, our thinking is, can we figure out a way that we can break this building up into packages? If we could create 3 separate packages, one being the foundation and footings so that we could start doing the earthwork and getting the slab poured so we could eventually then come in and build the shell, either wood frame or using the post-engineered system. I did talk to Morton Buildings, and they are a very professional wood-framed, basically pole building system. Once we would enter into a contract with them, it would take 120 days to get the building on site. And that I just said, there's no way. We can't wait that long. A metal building is probably 60 to 90 days once we order it. Talking to Steve at CES Group, we can frame it a lot faster and get it going. So if we could break this into foundations and footings, the outer shell, try to get that closed in by November so that we can then be working on the interior, we could probably have this completed by the end of the year, early in 2027 is our thinking. But it requires us all sitting around the table figuring out how we can procure it based on the city's procurement requirements. And how do we figure out, because we do realize that you want to put this open for bids. And of course, Rob and his team would like to be able to submit a bid for that as well. So, next. So here's my brainstorm too. So Friday, or maybe it was Thursday, there was a newsletter that came around to the office and it talked about what's going to go on at the meeting tonight. And one of the things that I saw in that newsletter was a group saying, we're looking for volunteers to get involved. We'd like to make this into a truly an animal shelter building, which I was very happy to see. And let's go to the next slide. And so I put this building on the site and showed its approximate location with 2 parking spaces and a handicap stall in the sidewalks. And I'm sitting there thinking as I'm driving back to Manhattan over the weekend, the way the building is designed is it's modular. And if we ever decide we want to build a proper CAT system, which we could, we can take that 10-foot of future building, laminate it on the east side of the building, and if we want to expand the kennel beyond the, I think, 9 kennels that I currently have, I can take those remaining kennels and glom them onto the west side of the building. So the building can expand over time when we have the time and the budget and the monies to be able to do that, if the city wants to expand those services, which was what I liked about the plan a lot. Next slide. So this is the floor plan. The kind of the outer yellowish green walls, that would be the shell that we would build. The red wall is the CMU block wall, and the blue is just normal either wood frame or steel studs, depending upon what we decide to do. The building itself is very simple, very straightforward. It could be a very good looking building out there with a metal sided. We'd want to put a nice sign on it, do some landscaping around it, and well, like I said, we can expand it if that's something that happens in the future, which I'm very happy to see. Next slide. So I would need to move, if we want to think about that future idea, I would need to move the building 10 feet to the west. I think we have plenty of space on the site to be able to accommodate that, and then to be able to look at any future expansion that could occur for dogs. And we also need to have, we need to locate where the fence will be for the dogs to have a run outside to the west of the building. And I think we've talked, Will and Josh and we have talked about that. I think we can work on that over the next week. Next. So that just shows you how the building sits with the water tank in its location. Next. And then just a very quick sketch. Next. It kind of puts it into context and it shows you the level of quality that we're thinking on the building itself.
Do you want me to go back to what at least right now, the final floor plan
Yes,
was?
go back. Yeah, that one right there. Basically, we're looking at a 10-foot plate height for the building itself, simple 412 or 512 pitch roof. Simple windows. We want to be able to get windows into the kennel spaces so that the dogs have natural light. Metal siding. We're just trying. And one thing that I did take away from my meetings in Manhattan with the animal shelter there was make sure that you put fiberglass doors and frames in your dog area, because you'll rust those doors out really quick, and they're in the process of replacing all of their door frames. So we would have hollow metal door frames in all the other spaces. We would probably try to get an R38 bat insulation in the ceiling of the dog area so that we can attenuate the noise from the dogs. We'll probably have an R19 fiberglass bat in the rest of the walls, but we'll have a very high insulation value in the dog kennel space itself, because we will have we'll have the metal skin, we'll have a plywood with a waterproof membrane, we'll have a plywood liner. We will shoot spray foam on the inside of that, then come back in and put in an R19 bat, 2-inch air space, and then the 6-inch block, which will be anchored back to the wall, so we have stability. And we do realize we need to put some sort of an epoxy coating on the walls and floor of the space to be able to address the animal needs. I would also recommend that we slightly slope those floors to the back walls, run a trench drain along there with a grill so that we can properly hose the kennel spaces out from any dog issues and matters that we need to have.
I see a cat exam room. Is there not a dog one?
There's a dog. We
missing
have the isolation room for the dogs in the on the left side.
That is a cat area slash
intake.
exam room.
Yeah.
So it could be an area that dogs are brought over to if there are no cats
In the
there
space.
at that time.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of space that's available there, we saw the cat area more just whenever the TNR program was active. So on this day of the month or whatever it might end up being.
And I'm getting a couple of texts that there's still no audio.
So how many animals do we have at the vet clinic right now that we've picked up?
Yeah.
Cats, dogs, have we looked into that data and historically?
Yeah, so when we just had the vet down to the animal shelter, and they said that they're pretty full right now on dogs.
No, how many the city brought
Are
there?
ours.
I do not know their current number.
Because I know I kennel, I have 2 dogs, and we kennel them there, and I've never had a hard time getting in. So availability is there.
And I think we only picked up one.
The other observation, or the other thought I had, did we visit what they are currently doing as far as their approach?
I have not.
Large dogs on the bottom, small dogs on the top?
I have not. I only visited the animal shelter in Manhattan, and all the dogs were on grade. None were staffed.
No, have you visited our vet
No,
that's
I have
currently
not.
taking
No,
care of our
honestly, no, I
challenge?
have not.
Okay.
I'll try. I have spoken with him. I have sent
Pretty
plans to
close.
him to get his comments.
I was
Sure.
just on it.
Okay.
I don't think our kennels currently that we bought have a upper and lower. It's just one.
No. If you go out to Prairie Valley Vet Clinic, see what they're doing before we try to, I mean, if we try to have on grade 8-foot tall ceiling, 10, 9?
10-foot ceiling.
10-foot ceiling on grade, a kennel for a dog. We wasted a lot of space, and I think we're getting a little overcomplicated in my mind.
If you go to any of the animal shelters, they'll recommend having the space not only for ventilation, but also so that way they don't go crazy from being in a kennel for a long amount of time. We still haven't set any policies as far as how long the animals are staying in the shelter, which is something that we'll have to visit. Once it is decided, this is the plan, this is what we're going with, which we're not there yet. But we'll want to set those policies because ultimately, if there are animals there for a long time, there is a chance that, they won't be suited for being in the kennel for as long as they might be in there.
I just think before we make a decision, I mean, you always want to have good data to tell you what kind of decision should we make. And if it comes back to, oh, shoot, the most we've ever had that we picked up was 6 dogs. Because typically a dog, there's an owner.
Yep.
People just don't kick them out. Most of the stray dogs that you see come through, there's usually 2 or 3 of them, and they come to town and they're gone pretty quick because they're skittish. And before we make a really big investment in a facility like this, because what we don't want to do is put ourselves in a situation where somebody says, well, we bought this dog and we've been taking care of it for about a year now. We don't want it anymore. Will you take it? No, we won't take it. Okay, well, they drop it off, collar on the leash, hook to the fence, and pretty soon we're taking care of a dog.
We do already get that though. Yeah.
Do
No, they don't.
Do we have to
stay
accept it?
We
No.
don't have a choice
Yeah,
at
we
that
have
point.
to. We have to take it. It's a stray at that point.
Also, the research I've done is, for example, in Manhattan, they have a jurisdiction. They cannot take animals from outside their jurisdiction. Riley County and Potawatomi County is their jurisdiction. If somebody brings a dog in and they don't live in that jurisdiction, they cannot take it.
Well, that's the point I'm making, though. Locally, people think it's great to buy a puppy for my daughter,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, well, we don't want to take care of it. So, can we drop it off at your place?
Well,
Well, we're not in that business because we're not a humane society. That's where it needs to be more of a public private type of
And the other
agreement before?
thing, we have
Because,
people bring them-
because we have a big spot. I mean, we're putting in a pretty nice little setup here, and we know we're not gonna make any revenue off of it, but it's gonna cost us money over time.
We also have people who try to bring them in from the county.
Yep.
Well,
I'm just throwing it out there, you know?
Yeah, one of the biggest things when we, as a committee, went and visited the other shelters is if you build a facility, they told us with 100% certainty, people are gonna dump dogs in your area because they know you have a facility. I mean, Beatrice or Wymore, they get people to drop them off at Walmart, and they're from Kansas, but there's no way to prove that's where they're coming from. So the police get a call, okay, it's a stray in town, then we don't have a choice at that time. We're wanting to get rid of the cat problem. I think having a cat area is a necessity, because if we don't do it now, we're never going to do it. And we need to get this TNR program started as well. So I think with the options that he gave, the cheaper options, and just doing the block in the dog kennel area, I think that's gonna save cost in the long run, but set us up to where we can expand later on if we need to. We don't have to do it right now, but at least it gives us the ability.
And have we decided who is going to take care of this? Or are we gonna wait till we have a structure and then make that decision?
Yeah, we talked about that a couple meetings ago. It was gonna be the water department starting off just as they are now.
Wouldn't we rather have the water department working on water issues?
Well, sure, but they take care of the animals now, right?
Is that the best decision that we made? I mean,
Well, no.
perhaps the code enforcer. I can't see the code enforcer working 50 hours a week, 30 hours a week, 40 hours a week doing code enforcement.
Something we can talk about.
So, just some thoughts, because we're trying to build a house and then figuring out who's gonna live in it and who's gonna take care of it and who's gonna pay for it.
And I think the other ideas that we came up with is if we build the cheapest thing possible that's just as minute as possible, it's never going to attract a nonprofit organization that wants to come in, take the building over and run it. If we build a building that is attractive, that's going to bring people in who, okay, we have a building, we'll take it over, we'll fund it, you know, we'll do all these things. And I think if we don't at least think about that option, we're gonna be shooting ourselves in the foot, in my opinion.
True, but when the first taxpayer comes up to me and says, gosh, you put this money into that dog kennel or animal shelter facility, but look at the bathrooms at City Park. That's where I'm coming from. I mean, yes, we have dog and cat lovers in the world. I happen to like dogs. I'm not a big fan of cats. People that aren't in that boat are going to go, well, God, you put all this effort into this, but we've been asking about an improved bathroom down in the city park for a long time. So I'm just being the devil's advocate here.
I get it. I get that point.
And we don't seem to pick up many cats.
No, we don't.
Right now, we do not currently
Yeah.
pick up any cats.
Did we sell many?
Do we have any data that shows us how many dogs we intake?
Yeah, Sammy's brought that data to several meetings.
I do
She
not have
has.
it on me. Yes, we have that
She has
data.
brought it several
Okay.
times.
I mean, give me a swag, you know.
I think she said the biggest number they've had in a year?
I think we get roughly 15 dogs in a year.
Yeah, I think. that's
So
what-
15 dogs in a year, and we're building a kennel to house how many?
9.
9, plus the cats?
2 cats, probably. max.
2 cats?
The room for the cats is very small. It's there.
I guess,
just- it's
look at
just
the
there for
math, if we're keeping them for a year, and you're talking 15 over 12 months, are we going a little overboard? And with that, I won't talk anymore on this subject.
I mean, you can talk, that's what we're here for. So are we needing to give direction at this point?
Right now, this was a discussion. I'm sure that Greg would love to have a little bit more direction as far as are we open to doing the engineered post frame building.
When does Doc want to be done?
We're still in conversations with
Okay.
them, and we're trying to give them updates as often as possible,
I-
which is one reason why we asked CES to come in today.
I
The
would like,
fastest build is the wood frame. It's the
I
cheapest.
kind of like the middle one, but
You said that the fastest build is what we're looking at,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's wood frame,
With the block in a
concrete
dog
block,
area.
drains on the floor to speed up cleaning and everything.
yep, we have to have, and we also have to have separate ventilation systems for the dogs from the rest of the building. And we have to be able to exhaust, we have to exhaust those spaces as well. So those are the state requirements.
I guess if this is a recommendation, then we would say, hey, go out and put it out, request for quote for a proposal.
I need time to be able to put the drawings together so that I can certify them as an architect. I need to also, we are putting together a BIM model on this because we want to do some preliminary pricing so that we know where we think the numbers will fall when you put it out to bid. And
And then the other part that you're wanting to know, I'm sure, is are we doing the fast track delivery as far as procurement goes? Where we ask CES, since they're the one designing it, to go ahead and start the procurement as well, as far as getting bids. So that way we can start having the different stages for the bids and get that out quickly.
And also, I have to throw this out too, and I'm sorry to say this, but as the architect of the project, we would need to be engaged through the construction of the project as well, because it's my stamp that's going on the drawings.
What do we pay the vet clinic a year?
I believe it's per dog and
Right.
depends on the
Roughly
dog's
a
cost.
table.
I don't have that number,
Yeah.
yeah. Because like this year, we
It's
had
a
a
lot.
dog who had, health issues, so that was more of a.
Well, I would say that what we want to do is we want to get the preliminary cost, because we don't have that right now on this.
No, we're working on that.
We want to get that cost, and then we want to look at what we're paying the vet clinic. And we might even want to go back to the vet clinic and say, hey, we'll pay you X per year because that much is going to take care of this project for the next 15 years.
Yeah, the vet clinic's already said they're not.
Yeah, they
They're
wanna
not
be
willing,
done.
that's why we're in this whole option.
I don't know. It just, we got, I'll just stop.
is he making Blue Rapids do the same thing, do we know?
No,
No,
no, Blue Rapids does not get as many, animals.
that is true.
And so it's a little bit easier for them to handle within their existing facilities.
And this wouldn't even be a conversation if that clinic was willing to do that.
Well, Beatrice doesn't do this, the city doesn't take care of it.
The city,
The city puts money
contracts
toward
with,
it.
the Humane Society.
Mm-hmm.
Which, when we were doing our research, is one thing that we looked at, is trying to contract with somebody.
Yeah, Prairie Paws, they contract with 3 different city communities in Manhattan. I
And
think
going to be more.
Ottawa, I think it's Ottawa, Manhattan, and there's a third one, Emporia.
And they're working with at least, I think, 2 more cities.
One of the other things that I think has come up in conversations too is, there are the need for other types of veterinary services that I think K-State, their veterinary medicine college does do, they do come out to cities to hold clinics to spay and neuter animals and do those kinds of things. So having a facility would be a good place to be able to have some of those activities, working with the veterinary medicine college. So it's a benefit, I think, for the city. So if you give us the green light to move forward with this process, we will, or at least this approach, we'll get started.
With this building, you were talking about the additional, 28 feet or something. This building and the way it sits is allowing for that to happen in the future, right?
We could expand to the west and to the east very easily if I just make sure I position it on site. Where I currently have it located, I would want to move the building 10 feet to the west, which means I have to buy a little bit more sidewalk. And I don't have to grade as much because the site's falling away. And
I like it.
it'll give us a lot of flexibility to change this over time if necessary.
I like that idea, the ability to grow if we need to, without putting us in
I
a
would,
bind.
I would move it, in that drawing, I probably, where you see those lines on the left, which I just drew, that's the property line, and I kind of treated that like a fence. That's where I would put the western wall of the building. And it gives us more distance from the street, but it gives us the flexibility to grow.
Right, I like that. Okay. Need to vote on it, or just consensus?
Is there a consensus direction for Mr. Yeager?
I wouldn't mind going with that floor plan with option B.
With B?
I'll second that.
Basically, the frame, the outer shell
With
with
the
the inner.
CMU for the dog area, yes, okay.
See what
Consensus,
it comes back as,
yeah, good,
Okay,
what we can do.
sounds good.
thank you, Greg.
I have my marching orders.
Thanks for the info.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
And Adriana is going to have the pleasure of putting all of this into BIM, so we can come back to you with some numbers. And we'll try and get on that as quickly as we can.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, appreciate it. All right, next up, we have several resolutions with the code enforcement officer, so have him come up.
Hi there, I'm Kenton Sinclair, the newest addition to code enforcement. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting all of you, a handful of you I have, and I know a few of you personally. It's nice meeting you all. I had a total of 6 resolutions as far as nuisances that need to be addressed and everything, mostly considering vehicles are a huge factor that create a nuisance. And majority of the vehicles that I ended up putting down, for instance, 305 North 2nd Street, that truck's been sitting there for a couple years from what I'm told, and it's only making that side of town look not so well, especially having like a broken windshield and everything like that, and it being stuck into the ground. The other vehicles as well, creating a nuisance as far as weeds, possible animals, critters, and being located so close to the alleyway to where it can affect, people getting in and out of the alleyways. The other nuisances were the basic, miscellaneous trash debris, mattresses, furniture, appliances, and then brush piles and limb piles. I know that there was you guys do a spring cleaning every year. As far as doing that, it's well past that time, and people have just remained to keep them there and not clean them up. Those were the basic resolutions that I came up with for this month. The biggest ones that were noticeable were the vehicles. And there's more around town, but I didn't want to overdo it with all the vehicles. I know trying to come up with the best solution or resolution for vehicles can do better in the future if we could find out a better way of handling all the vehicles. There's not much code enforcement can do with the vehicles on the streets, but on people's properties we can. All the ones that are on those lists, they're all expired by years. So they're not current, not insured. Most of them are inoperable from the looks of them. And just going off of that, with the vehicles are one of the main factors, I feel. The other small nuisances, as far as the miscellaneous trash and furniture and all that stuff. That's mostly, it's a hit or a miss. We do tend to speak to the people personally, and we give them X amount of time after with the notice and everything, and we'll give them, extended time, and then they'll make some progress, but then not enough progress, and so it ends up being an issue. I hope moving forward we could, try to figure out a better solution, because you can only give so much leeway and so much, X amount of time. So, other than that, those are the resolutions that we were looking to get looked at and possibly approved by you guys to figure out the best solution to go about it and to get everything taken care of as far as getting that stuff cleaned up. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Real quick, I
Yes.
just want to thank Kenny. He's done a really good job since he's been here.
Yes, he has.
I hope you guys have noticed that. These nuisances for the cars, these are not all the cars that he could
Oh, I know.
go after.
Right.
There's not enough space in the existing tow lots. Plus, there's costs, of course, for those holding in those tow lots whenever they get in there. So that's what he is talking about when we need to be looking towards a solution for that. So that way there is not as much continual cost. And so that way we can truly go out for as many as is needed to go out for.
And what's the timeline, Kenny, when you take it to court? Is
For
that-
court, yeah, so if we were to move forward and take that to court as far as that, the process is very long, it's like 45 days.
Yeah.
So,
Wasn't it?
It
Huh?
can be.
That was longer than that, wasn't it?
yeah,
Sometimes-
some can be
Well, and
long.
this does not,
Yeah.
yeah.
Say some was 90 days before they made
I
it
was
too.
thinking that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like 45 days, and then after that, it's an additional, and it's a process, and that's
And then
why.
you're paying storage on it for the whole time, and yeah,
And that's the reason why I didn't want to
They are.
overdo it with the vehicles.
They should be.
well, they do, or should, yes.
So,
One question,
If the car is wrecked and it's sitting there, it should have been hauled right away to Smitty's and taken care of, and instead of just dumped in their backyard.
yes, sir.
one question I have, with these nuisances, is it something that has to be individually discussed, or is it something that could be part of the consent agenda?
We can look, well, with them being resolutions, I believe that will need to be on the business, items. I'll have to look how other cities do it, because there are certain things that do go on their consent agenda that we do not currently.
So what I would request in the future, we have a line item for the nuisances, and we ask that if anybody has any questions about them, and then you pull it out, or we vote to approve the resolutions presented to us for nuisances.
Can we do multiples at a time?
Not when it's up on a business and discussion, when it would be a part of consent. Yeah.
That was that's where I was getting at.
Yeah, because if we.
Because if we're gonna make the investment,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
might as well just,
we might as well just, if you wanna pull one out, that's one thing.
Right,
But if you say yes, I'm not gonna argue with that. That's why we're paying somebody.
it's all right.
if
Like,
the
can you do a
citizen
shot?
comes to talk about it, then we can pull it out and put it on there as well, yeah. I agree.
We'll look into how other cities do their nuisance resolutions and see what that process would be to move it.
They said he's gonna bring us this many at a time, which is great.
Yes. This is great.
Okay, we'll just go through them one by one, and we'll do kind of rapid fire, okay, guys?
Move to approve resolution 2026-6.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? There you go. Resolution 2026-07.
Move to approve resolution 2026-07.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
They do.
Next, Kevin.
Move to approve resolution 2026-08.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
They do.
Move to approve resolution 2609.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Cato,
Resolution 2610, move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Cato,
Resolution 2026-11, move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Cato.
Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great day.
Okay, next up is consent agenda.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Cato,
Okay. Presentation appropriations ordinance number 3874.
Move to approve appropriation ordinance number 3874.
Second.
What was the amount?
I don't know. I don't have I'm not that far up.
177,985.62.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second, correct? Yep. Okay, any further discussion? No? Roll call?
Keating,
Yes.
Snelling,
Yes.
Reinhardt,
Yes.
Had a break.
Vader,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Warren,
yes.
Weidman,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Cato.
Next up is city administrator's report.
Yeah, so of course, we've been working on the pool for a while, as Courtney had said. I think she gave a really good update on where we're at, depending on how much you're losing. If it's about a foot of water, if you think of the pool as roughly 3 foot is the mean depth, that's about a third of the pool every day. So that's roughly 90,000 gallons. If we're looking at 3 inches instead, then of course that's going to be less. Instead, that'll be closer to 20-some thousand gallons per day potentially. So we'll continue to keep an eye on it to see where it's at, with of course the goal to open at least on Friday if we have not dug another hole in the meantime. Otherwise, our guys were busy this past week getting ready for the Big Blue River Days like everybody else was. They helped, of course, clean up downtown, set up tents, really try to make sure that everything was ready, you know, get the cones out. And then otherwise, we were working on dust control. Dust control has been put down on every road except 8th Street and Jayhawk Road for the second application. Otherwise, every road got 2 applications, which is what was asked of by Brian. And so all that should be good. They were out on 8th Road when the rain came in that day. It had not been raining out at 8th Road when it was raining hard here, so they were able to get that down and were able to get it settled for that time. Hopefully, residents have noticed the dust control and hopefully it's going well. I do know there is still washboards, at least on one of the roads, so we'll keep an eye on that as we go. At the lagoon, I know we just had Nathaniel up last meeting. We had a 5-foot plate in at that time. We just put in a 3-foot plate, so hopefully that will help as far as the elevations of the lagoon and the wetlands, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it, see if we need to switch back to the 5-foot. And then finally, the cemetery cleanup is on June 10th, which means our guys will be cleaning up the cemetery on June 10th, which means all the stuff that people aren't wanting to be put together will need to be cleaned up by June 9th.
Tomorrow.
Yes, I believe we put.
Tomorrow.
I believe we put something out.
It was in
I would have to check out that again. But yes, tomorrow, if people are able to pick those up tomorrow, that would be great. Otherwise, welcome Carrie to the council meeting. And that's all I had. Tony Escalante has been keeping me up to date with some of the FIFA updates. We'll see how we are affected. We are just outside of the radius that was given to us by FIFA and in Kansas City as far as where people will go. Of course, we hope that some of our attractions will drive people to come outside of that radius a little bit further, but we will see how we're affected and move from there. And we'll be working with Marysville, the museums, and the PD on that response. That's all I had.
Josh,
Yes.
how fast were they losing water when they had that leak down at the deep end by the diving boards?
4 inches.
Was it about
Last
the
year?
same? Yeah.
It wasn't.
I honestly don't remember how much the leak was.
Biggest
I mean, it
leak
could have
we've
been
ever
4.
had, there was one just outside of the
Pool house. Yes, yep, and we did dig there because that's where we were recommended to dig. That's where Brian from Manhattan will be checking out again with his sonar, even though we're not seeing any water anywhere. But what he's going to be looking for is not only noise but also cavities around that area. So we'll see.
One thought on that, I was talking to Charlie Ohm about that. He used to take care of the pool. He was on the street department at one, or not street, but sewer department at one time. And there was an argument a long time ago, it's probably been 30 years ago. Do you leave water in the pool or do you drain it?
During the winter season?
During the winter season, and it makes sense, honestly, because if you leave however many feet of water in the pool, keep the deep end filled and keep the rest full about 2 foot, it's no different than a pond because the fish survive. Right. And maybe we're draining it too much.
I believe
maybe the sitting with no pressure, and it's something to think about.
I believe when it was built that it was the recommendation by the company, which we all know about the company.
Yeah, I would not take recommendations from the defunct company that's not.
It was the recommendation of the company to leave water in there. With this leak, we've been in contact with, of course, the 2 companies that we've been working with. I can't remember which of the 2 recommended that we leave water in there. I think it was the leak investigators from Omaha.
Maybe that's a good idea that we should.
So, yes, we're talking with Courtney and Audrey and of course with Delmer to see should we be leaving water in there based off of those recommendations. I don't, of course I wasn't here when that decision was made originally. I don't know why they decided to drain it all every single year.
It's probably, well, we spent a bunch of money, let's drain it so we don't have leaks someday.
Probably.
Okay. Standing committee reports, admin and finance. Tyler?
Yeah, so 2 topics of discussion. The first being the 600 block of Broadway. The committee recommends to the council that the city administration draft a request for proposal for third-party interest in developing the city-owned property. I don't know if we need to do anything on that tonight.
If there's a consensus, we will start drafting an RFP for that property. Right now it is 3 lots. We can draft the RFP for 3, we can draft it for 2, for 2.5. That is up for discussion.
And for clarification for the public.
So it's the green space by the pony circle. There's interest in developments there for possible restaurants or something of that nature.
So exploring options if, contractors or individual investors want to take a crack at presenting something to us for that property, we're willing to listen. I guess how close do we want to let them get to the main part
murals.
of the murals and that on the west side?
So I'm pulling the map up just so everybody has a visual. The county owns a little bit of land. I cannot remember exactly how far off of the sidewalk. So that, of course, would not be a part of this at all. But then the city owns from about there, from that line all the way up. We own, of course, where the pony park is. But right. The third lot ends about where there's an electric unit on the north side, right right here. It might be just a little bit west of there that the line is.
And city code dictates, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, if they put a building up, it has to be 10 foot away from the property line already. So that would be 10 foot guaranteed from the murals, but if.
I don't
think
believe
that would
so with
apply
it
to
being
the-
downtown
Yeah.
and
Oh,
commercial.
is that-
Yeah, I don't believe so,
Okay.
just because of that. I would have to look into that, though.
But I would ask for at least a 8-foot setback.
At least something.
10-foot setback from on the east side.
Right.
I believe.
Because, the health department never, when they built new construction, they didn't, set back any distance from the sidewalk, and I'd rather see it right up next to the sidewalk, in my opinion.
So off the top of my head, I believe the lots going from west to east are 44 foot wide, 24 foot wide, and then 20 foot wide.
That sounds right. So do what, 34 foot wide on the first one?
Well, my recommendation would be the 44, 24, and then half of the third one for a 10 foot. Ultimately, it's up to council on, there could be a design that provides a soft entrance to the murals that wouldn't have it be right there.
Right.
But also, who knows who the next person owning it after that, what they're gonna do.
I would make a motion that through unanimous consent, that the Admin and Finance Committee and City Administration move forward with putting out requests for proposals for developing the lots in question.
Okay, we have a motion for unanimous consent. Any further discussion? Okay.
Now with.
Unanimous consent doesn't.
I was gonna say, we don't need a motion
Yeah.
at all, but are you wanting 2.5 lots or are you wanting all three?
The recommendation of City Administration.
Because I don't want it right on the backside of the mural.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Any more on that? No? Okay, so the second topic of discussion we had was Josh's performance review, and we will continue that discussion with him at our next meeting, so. We're not being too critical on him, but enough to keep him in line, right, Josh?
There you go.
Anything
That's all
else
I've
on-
got. No, that's it.
Okay. Parks and Rec Committee meeting.
Yeah. We met on May 27th. We talked about pool, about how the funding was worded from the election in 2012. It's on the back page of the deal. And talked about possibly using some of the sales tax money from the pool to go to Dargett Park to fund $400,000. And then Josh and Carrie are going to look and see what they can get for grants and stuff to go alongside that money for new playground equipment, a splash pad, and a new basketball court up there.
And one of the major things that I brought up is, and public won't remember this in 2033, but that sales tax has no sunset. And if we don't show value for the 2.6 sitting there, whatever it is, 2.8,
2.3.
they're gonna kind of sit back and go, well, you've just been collecting sales tax and not getting any value out of it for us.
I agree.
So, our goal ultimately should be like the 1% sales tax that we have, and encourage people to vote that in permanently as a sales tax to help support those type of things, the pool, Parks and Rec, those things of that nature. It's going to be kind of hard to convince people to do that if we still have dilapidated parks come 2033. So.
And it's gonna be a turnkey project. City crews won't be involved in
No.
building any of it. It's all being contracted out, so,
Like it.
yeah.
That it?
And the idea is to start there
Start there,
and then
then go around to
Move.
the other part.
Yeah.
Yes. But we gotta start somewhere.
Right.
So,
Anything else on Parks and Rec?
are you wanting us to go out for an RFP for design of it with the max being
Yeah.
that 400,000.
400, well, we need
Grants if
to,
possible.
we need to find out, because if we're gonna go after grants, we can't say what the max is gonna be. But if we're committing to 400,000 for a CBDG or something like that in the future, like 2027, 2028, yes, we need to have a layout for that park.
Yeah.
Okay, we will continue to get research and then try to get ready for that whenever it comes to that point then.
All right, I know it's not on the agenda, but street committee met right before this meeting, so if you guys want to discuss that.
So the street committee and we met, had a very good conversation. First and foremost on the call was the developing a long-term plan for street maintenance and replacement, rehabilitation. So the first thing that we would ask is that we you know, our long-term plan right now it was a 25-year plan, and we put it together in 2005. So I think we're ready to go. We would ask that, one, we put a request for qualifications for somebody to help us develop a long-term plan for street maintenance and rehabilitation. But if we get that plan, the other request is that we need to talk to Luke about it, but we adopt a resolution that says this is the plan, we need to follow it. Because Gary's been very adamant that, you know, we all talk about what we want to do, but then we get a new council and we don't move on. We need to force the hand to a new council to say, no, we're not going to follow that anymore. And obviously, that resolution is going to say something about, you know, based on funding or something. I mean, that's down the road and that's in the weeds. But that is the request from the committee.
Does this include stormwater and sewer as well? Does this plan?
Stormwater and sewer is included in the storm and sewer portion.
They kind of go hand in hand.
And they have their own funding source.
Right, but I think what he's saying is part of the 25-year plan to address that before doing streets.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
But we got to keep in mind too, part of this plan is not just to tear roads out and replace them.
Yes.
If we're rehabilitating a road and we need to cut a spot up to do some stormwater stuff, then we do it, but then we rehabilitate it. Because I've done a lot of driving around, and a lot of people I've been talking to have been driving a lot around, and they see a lot of curbs and gutters that people say we need to replace, and there's really only about 10 foot of it that we need to cut out and replace. So yes, it's all inclusive. The reason I didn't put it in the right, you know, when I made the proposal, or we made the proposal, is we already did a stormwater study. We did a water study.
Sanitary sewer study.
Sanitary sewer study. So we've already been told this is what you need to do and this is what you need to plan for.
So did those plans, I have not looked at those, did those plans include a subsurface investigation to see what's going on in these systems?
I think we're getting into the weeds now, so.
But
But that's why we need to have somebody else take care of it for us.
I agree.
And put it together.
The sewer lines in town, all but a few thousand, probably 4,000 feet, have all been relined.
Okay.
So with that project, we are all on the downhill side of it.
Yep.
I think one more trip, maybe two, and they'll be done with that project.
Yep.
So we
And we did get bids back, I mean, a quote back on this year's, if we're gonna go forward with that eventually, for one of the last runs.
But that whole town will then have been lined on the sanitary sewer.
And I assume that plan has inspections, you know, annual inspections, 5-year inspections?
Yeah, so I believe the plan that they're talking about is more the water rate study,
Oh, okay.
which listed out projects, but it does not have re-inspection.
So I
days.
think,
Now, within, of
But-
course, our normal duties, we should be
yes.
doing
But you
that.
gotta put a wall there because you gotta look at your funding source. This is a plan that we are gonna utilize what we decide to budget out of sales tax, the 1% sales tax, to maintain streets.
Sure.
Then we have a generation of revenue for water, sewer,
Storm sewer.
storm sewer and sanitary sewer. So this plan should be inclusive, inclusive to that, the streets.
Sure.
But then you need to also remember that part of that ordinance, resolution, whatever it is, says that when we do this, we also evaluate what do we need to do on that block, that 5 blocks, that 30 blocks at the same time. Because
I'd hate
because
to-
it's hard for somebody to develop a plan if they say, if we don't tell them, what's your budget? Well, we got so much money coming in from water bills, so much for sewer, stormwater, and then so much for sales tax. They need to know a dedicated fund that's gonna support that street portion.
Yeah, I completely agree. But, I guess I need to look more at the subsurface sewer, what we've done. It sounds like quite a bit of it is lined and hopefully in good condition, but, if we have sewer systems that are failing beneath our roads, we can't just tear out or, replace the surface of the road and then have to do it again here in a few years
No,
because of,
totally
subsurface
agree.
issues, so. Just, trying to be as effective and, strategic with our funds,
Yep.
so.
Is that it for street committee?
There was the,
Gary
Whether-
says, or?
No,
Gonna go
no.
out for RFP.
We agree with
We need
Gary
to do that
says,
request.
because Gary is frustrated because previous councils say we need to do this, we need to do that, but then we don't follow through with it. And we need to go to good inventory of what we have. And I think part of this whole thing is there needs to be that portion of it where we update or get current with our GIS picture of things, because from what I understand, we've kind of got a little behind the curve with mapping things, so, this is just the street portion. After that, the next step is X, Y, Z, so that's the request, to allow administration to go after a request for qualification for somebody to help us do that.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
To be taken out of sales tax.
Yes.
For 25 year. Okay. We will try to get that written up.
Anything else on street committee?
The other thing we talked about is on the 2 blocks of Jenkin, and I agree with Kevin, we might want to do the 3rd block. We would like to put out a request for qualification, request for quote, whatever, for a thin lift asphalt bonded concrete overlay and see what comes back. And it would be funded through the sales tax fund.
Is that RFP gonna include, looking at potential storm sewer issues causing the current damage under the concrete?
It's not really a storm sewer issue because the concrete has cracked and was never sealed up. We never did crack seal on it. And then just over time it's deteriorated. There's probably, if you really look at it close, there's probably 20 feet of curb and gutter that need to be replaced. And I think that's something that our street department is more than capable of doing, of cutting out 10 foot here and 10 foot here and replacing it.
We have the machines, absolutely.
That's what they're here for. So that's what we pay them to do. That's the other request from, or recommendation from the committee.
Jenkins from where to where?
8th to 11th.
8th to 11th.
I would just highly suggest the next time it's torrential downpouring that everybody drive up 8th Street. Just drive it. I mean, it's literally lakes. Like the bottom of Jenkins is a lake. Because it's,
That's why I keep bringing up the storm sewer issue.
I know,
'cause
that's
think
why I'm
there
like, I
might
think
be a
there's
problem with it.
something more to it.
I don't know if that has anything to do with Jenkins up there.
But if it's a possibility, it would hurt to look at it, that's all I'm saying.
I think that's where the Water and Sewer Committee need to get together and come back and make a recommendation to, because we talked about it. We need to go back, we need to go down and look and see what we have.
Yep.
until we see that, we can talk about all kinds of things. And I understand your pain.
Is your,
So,
our camera
real
fixed?
quick, while we, since we've mentioned some of the stormwater, we are waiting, for a group to get in a camera that'll be able to, go through the stormwater system a little bit better on North Street. We're hoping that they'll be able to travel from 7th up through at least 9th, if it's not up further than that. But at the same time, we do know that there's some stuff around Jenkins that we need them to look into as well. We were looking in at one of our properties, and there's a 10-foot hole with about 3 foot, 2.5 foot wide.
But you know, that's no different though than what we did on the Highway 77 going south. That was not part of the original, is it?
Cave-in, or
Clip.
collapse.
CLIP project or whatever we did
Yeah,
here.
Yeah.
That was a secondary thing to it. That they came back and asked, hey, while we're doing this, we decided we want to go ahead and fix this. We
Yeah.
figured out we need to do this.
yeah.
So until we have the data to know what we have, we just can't assume, well, we got to dig down and replace everything over these 3 blocks.
You can't do that.
No.
Right.
I don't think it's in the whole 3 blocks. I think it's a couple, 1 or 2 spots, probably congesting it all
Well,
up.
probably nothing different than what we did over here by
Exactly.
Thompson's.
Anything else?
Is there a consensus to move forward with an RFP on
Yep.
that? Okay, from 8th to 11th on defense.
Do we need to vote?
All right, no appointments or wage determinations. Do we have Luke not on? No? Okay, no city attorney. Anybody see a need for executive session? Nope, good. Council comments. Jeff?
Washboards, they're great. They slow people down. I know what road you mentioned. And honestly, I sit out there. Well, I got done mowing my folks' house and just kind of sat out there for a little bit and watched people go by. And they're going 50 miles an hour down that
That's
road.
crazy.
And that's why you have washboards. Same thing's gonna happen on Jayhawk up here, once we, get that taken care of. So, the only way you're gonna fix it is, as I've been talking, go ahead and just bite the bullet, take over the roads, and then enforce the speed limit. And write some tickets. And when people start catching the wind that, oh, I better not drive 50 mile an hour on this road, it'll all go away. So, that's the only thing I have on washboards. They're a safety. It's for safety. It's kinda like a speed bump.
That it, Jeff?
Yep.
Lori?
The police department was breached on their email. Are we confirmed, have we had somebody check City Halls to make sure that we have all the firewalls and everything?
NCS followed up on it and did great right away.
Good.
I will confirm about that, but yeah, they control both.
Right.
Yeah, so I will confirm that everything is good.
Since there was an issue at the police department, I'd just like to have that
Yep,
confirmation
Yep.
that there's not an issue at City Hall.
yep, yep, I will check into that. We run on different email systems.
Sure.
But if somebody opened the email and they got
Well, I
access,
didn't
then of
open the
course-
one I got, so, or the 2 I got. So sorry.
I had one other thing.
No?
We do need to have a water and sewer committee meeting to discuss the challenges we have that Lori previously brought up, so.
And you mentioned that part for the camera. Do we have a timeline on when that camera?
We asked for a rush on it.
Okay.
No, I do not
I
have a
also
time frame.
requested a rush on it.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
glad you did.
Whose camera?
Yeah, who
Is
said?
with the
Ours?
no, it's not ours. We are actually waiting on a part for our camera as well, though, that they are having trouble finding. Yeah.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Well, I think I think the camera was a donation, wasn't it, from another company or something? I think it was.
That's all my questions.
Ninth Street on Walnut, northeast corner. Catch basin there is either plugged or something. Maybe it's a grate, I don't know, but it backs up far enough, it runs it clear over Walnut Street.
Okay. Our guys were out on Friday clearing it, did it.
It should never back up that far anyway.
Yep.
I mean, it was literally running over the crown of the street to the other
Okay.
side.
Did it go again this weekend?
Yeah, it did it again this weekend too,
Okay.
so, yeah.
I'm gonna piggyback off that.
Huh?
The storm drain on Ninth needs put back together.
Yeah. On
I
Upper-
noticed it when I was driving down here that
At Ninth and Walnut, or at
Ninth
Ninth?
and-
Ninth and
North?
north, yeah. Well, between there and the alley, yeah.
yeah, it's,
North and May.
I noticed it earlier
Yeah,
that it's,
it
the
was that
top's
way when I took
completely off.
pictures the other day when I was up
Yeah.
there.
Sounds to me like we should buy a camera.
Yes.
Yeah, Kevin, is that it?
Barbecue weekend looked great downtown. A lot of cars for the car show. A lot of vendors,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of food vendors, a lot of barbecuers. So I think good time was held by all the bands were all good, so. And then, up at the ballpark, we're gonna have to do some work up there. We had a lady slip the other day and we're gonna do some enlarging up there and we're gonna have to do something and put some railing up, so
Is that it?
that's it.
Tyler?
Ninth Street continuation talk. Ninth and Broadway, somebody asked if we could put stop signs going north-south.
Okay.
So something to look at, and maybe we need to look at all,
I don't know what a yield sign is.
yeah, look at all the streets on Broadway, or, connecting to Broadway. That was it on that, and then, yeah, Big Blue River Days, thanks to the city staff that helped get things set up and ready, and thank you to all the volunteers that weren't on the committee that partook in the various activities that we had going on. So I thought it was another great city, not just a committee, but a city ran event. And yeah, thank you to those that came down and checked it out and enjoyed the music, beer, and barbecue.
I don't have enough.
Thanks to the volunteers for the Big Blue. That was a fun weekend. We did have quite a few people complain about blocking off Main Street when they were going to do the drag. There was even a band truck that pulled down there, had to pull all the way back, then back down because he couldn't get to the stage. But there was a lot of patrons that were complaining about it being blocked for the drag.
They should talk to the people about spinning their tires. That's why they blocked
Yeah,
it
look
off,
in front of
because
those
last
windows.
year
And to
they
be
took
honest,
some tires
this
off.
council voted on that.
Yeah, I know, it came in.
But yeah,
Okay.
somebody must have went down there Friday night later and, cause there was,
More.
yep, or Saturday, Thursday night, I don't know. There was, yeah, somebody definitely burned out right in front of those trailers where the band is,
Yeah.
so.
And I will say, we are looking at, as Big Blue River Days Committee Chair, we are looking at how we can accommodate that.
Right.
Whether it be a
I'm just-
different day, or different time,
Yeah.
not during when there's so much pedestrian traffic down there.
Right, and I agree for the safety or whatever, but I'm just relaying what
No,
people that were attending were saying, that they didn't even want to drag Main because what do? They go down and they gotta turn around and they
I
can't
guess
turn around.
13th.
Same thing we did when the railroad tracks were here, Sheree.
Yeah.
We started up there, went down,
13th
turned
to
around,
8th.
went right back up Main Street.
I thought you always
You
turned on
remember
to
them
8th
old
and went
days.
south.
Huh?
When I was in high school, you turned to 8th and went south. You didn't even go that way.
That's why we went to 8th
We won't
Street.
even talk about it.
That'll just write a
Right,
ticket.
13th to 8th, down by the Elburn Center and come back and right up.
I have one more thing. At the intersection of 11th and Walnut, Scott Keller's intersection, from his drive to 11th Street, that used to be yellow, and I took some pictures. He had to go out over the curb to get out of his driveway, because that spot is not big enough for a car, but today there was a truck parked there even. It's in the crosswalk. I think it needs to go back to being yellow. And I did talk to him, and he would really appreciate it.
Sheree, do you have anything else?
No.
Yeah. I have a few things. I did get a call about the dust control. It's about, I'm not gonna mention his name just in case he doesn't wanna publicize, but he was, adamant about saying that we always hear about the bad things, so he wanted to make sure we heard about the good things, and he was very, very appreciative of the dust control and for this council doing all the work on 12th Road as well, so that's to everyone here. Big Blue Barbecue on Marysville, committee, staff, or you're making mean whiskey, so good job on that. I had a great time, my family had a great time, loved seeing all the cars, all the people hanging out. It was nice to see some nightlife downtown, great bands, great time, so hopefully we can continue discussions on outdoor dining and things like that to help restaurants stay open late, because I think that's what's gonna grow Marysville. If we only have restaurants open up 9 to 5, I don't think it's gonna excite too many people, but if we have a good nightlife and excitement about the city and things to do, I think that's gonna be very helpful. So thank you to all the committees, One Marysville, always doing a great job. Had a great time. Broadway, in front of Identities, you can't even go 5 miles an hour without roasting your car and, blowing the shock. So I would ask the street committee maybe to take a look at whether we want that to be part of Broadway and keep it brick, or if we just want to be whatever, but I would just say, recommend you guys talk about that and see what we can come up with in that arena. That's all I had.
I just thought of one thing. Frontier had their nice little, I don't know if it's not really an open house, but it's a nice little thing. And I think that we should all be proud that we finally got to this point that they're moving forward. It started April 14th, 2023. I know quite well, so hopefully we get the project through and move on to people downtown, lights on downtown. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, and I think that development's going to help improve that as well with all those housing developments and everything. And by the looks of things and the drawings they had, it's going to be pretty amazing to see that when it's accomplished. Okay.
One
Anything
last
else?
thing. The League of Kansas Municipalities Conference is coming up in October 8th to 10th. Booking will open up here, I believe, at the beginning of July. If you could please let us know if you are hoping to attend. The schedule is out online on their website, so that way you can see that. I would encourage all new council members to attend, but also, of course, those that have been on council for a while. It is a good education or re-education, whatever you want to call it. They have a variety of courses that you go through throughout the days, and so we always try to send a good number. It is in Wichita this year. We always try to send a good number. Yes. So that way we can attend every single session, get back together, and, inform each other about what we learned. So, yes. Go ahead and email me. Yes, I will remind you tomorrow, and I'll remind you again in July if we need to. So, I believe we have a couple anniversaries that will be celebrated as well. Not sure if both of those individuals will be going, but we'll send the invite out to them anyway. So that's all I had.
I make a motion through unanimous consent that we adjourn the meeting. No discussions? No, you don't second it.
Did we move to adjourn?
No, we're done.
Okay.
We're done.
Last time I wanted